This is a LS update 2 or Studebaker update, because that's what it's going in. But I turned it on its side, and while I had it, I just gave another quick shot of paint. It was missing some paint on the bottom, but that's not why it's on the side. Somebody did the studs one time, and there was a piece broken off in there. I guess they broke the tap in there, and they just kind of glued the head of the bolt to the manifold to make it look like they did the job right. They should just left it out or fix it properly, but now it's out and I can get to it. So I welded on it. Where'd it go? Here you can see that's part of a tap. This is the side I welded, that's the tap side. So that broke in there and I got it out. And there's another piece somewhere. And this came out too, but that was inside the manifold. This is the glue they used, that they had the head of the bolt stuck to this side, and this was inside the bolt hole. Like that. So their hole was not centered. It was about over here somewhere, so I filled it in with some JB Weld, and I'm going to try and re-drill it a little bit straighter. I mean, there's not a whole lot I can do because it is kind of fucking on an angle and far back, so I'm going to do my best, and if I can't do it, I mean, it'll have one stud missing. I'm fine with that, but while it's out, I'm going to try and do this properly, so give you an update back when I attempt to drill it. And lastly, what I did for yesterday was I took a piece of old hood, cut a circle out, just tacked it, ground it, and then like the low spots I just welded a little in there and then just ground it smooth. It's actually pretty nice. I mean, if I was going to do a restoration, I could probably just do a thin coat of Bondo and I think it'd be alright, but I'm going to leave that sit, let that get rusty once the truck goes outside, and then just, leave it. It'll blend in. I kind of want to look like an old patch panel. That's where the filler neck was. But I'm going to finish the steering column hopefully today, and then I want to start on the bed. Get the bed to where it needs. I want to get this body 100% where it needs to be. And get some sheet metal for the floors, because those are starting to bother me now. I don't know if it didn't bother me yesterday, but it's starting to bother me today. I think I'm just going to get a piece of plate and sheet metal, cap this off in here, keep the floor nice and flat both sides. Instead of patching down at the bottom, I think it'd be easier just do flat, just keep it airtight in there. Came up with a plan for this. I'm just going to jack up these because they were stepped on, they're really flimsy. Put like a 14 gauge or something thicker, maybe, I don't know, sheet metal on there. This little section down here, I want to keep this hole here. If you can see that little hole, that's for the access to cab mount. That's where the bolt went through, both sides. And I want to do a plate up there, leave the tunnel for now, do the floor on that side, and then this floor pan is solid, but I'm going to get like flat stock strips, like 2-inch strips, maybe like 1/8 inch, and just strip it across here, do like one there, one there, one there, maybe 4 strips across it. That should, maybe I'll even go long ways with it, but patch it from the bottom side where you wouldn't see it, because this has got some flex to it, and I think that'll give it, make that nice and strong, and we'll have to worry about the floor pan flexing and the cab flex and stuff like that. I just think that'll rigid everything up. It's a thin metal, but it's very heavy. I'm going to show you what I came up with to mount the steering column. I got that sitting roughly where it needs to be, and this is the bracket I made. So I showed you that flat plate sitting up on the, I guess you call it the firewall, right there. It's thicker than that thin tin shit. And then this is this plate just doubled up. I just cut 2 pieces that were equally the same, welded them together so it'd be thicker, and then the column is higher in the center, so I welded washers there just to space it out so the column won't hit here. It'll mount to the mounting tabs. Then I put a piece of ankle iron and I held it there with a magnet, and while I had that propped up the jack stand, so this was pushed up against here and this was sitting just under its own weight, So I just put a magnet in there, and a welding magnet, and I just held it where I needed to be. I tacked it, pulled it out, fully welded it. I still am gonna clean it up a little bit, but I'm gonna take this piece. I can't touch that, thing's fucking scalding hot. But I'm just gonna cut little strips here. I'm gonna guss it from this corner here to down here, and then I'm gonna guss it from there to there. That hole's not important, and that should make it nice and strong. And then these nuts are welded in on the back side. I have a nutsert tool, but I figured it wasn't as strong as welding nuts on the back side. But that is my little bracket, and I'm just gonna gusset it up, throw it in there, mount the steering column, and it should just sit where it needs to be under its own weight. And then I already ground around it a little bit, cleaned it up, and I'm just gonna weld that in solid, and that column should be there. I'll do a test steer on it. I'll maybe make some brackets for the bottom, but the top's mounted in there, and now that the top brackets are in, I could kind of play with it a little bit more, and then I can come up with something easier for the bottom without the jack standing in the way. Okay, I'm not sure if I showed you, but that's welded in. I had to bend the top of that firewall out just a little bit, and you can see that bracket's in there. There, that's the plate up at the top of the angle iron, and there's this bracket here, and you can see it's working. I don't know if that gives you an idea what you want to do. And when I turned the wheel, it had a little bit of a twist. It still has some. You can see this collar wants to move a little bit, so I made this flat plate and it bent it up, and then there's a piece of angle iron that goes this way. There's a nut welded on the back side, and this mounts in there. And then I welded this angle piece in there just to give it a little bit more structure. I didn't do this side yet, but I'm gonna do that tomorrow. I'm gonna weld another flat piece in here just to give this whole piece like nice and rigid, and then I'll go the same way, plate it that way, make a bracket that goes up there to that other bolt, and then should work. Well, it works now. Let's see. Let's turn. But I think it's pretty decent. I just got to mount that other tab, and then that piece that's welded to is like screwed into the floor. It's not actually part of the floor. You can see like there's rivets or screws, and once I weld that all solid, it'll really strengthen everything up. The metal's really thin, so that'll take care of everything. And then I'll just gotta mount a gas pedal for it. So that's most of the way taken care of. I'll take care of that tomorrow, fill in some of the holes with some of the sheet metal I have, and then I'll plate it. I talked about dropping the bed floor, so you can see I cut it all the way through except for the headboard. I'm not able to get that with the tools I have, or I didn't try too hard, but I welded this piece of angle iron. It was too short, so I just extended it, and just to the sides just to keep the same height, and so I figured the headboard's gonna hold that side together. I don't have a tailgate or anything like that, so this will just hold this side together. And I just marked all the way around 6 inches, so I have an idea when I weld it back together of where it's supposed to be. And that's where I'm at so far. And then I get the bed. You can see 6 inches is a little bit much of a drop, but I just want to give room just in case I ever have to notch the frame. I could do like a baby notch or something like that, and I'll have room for it. So I'll be pretty happy with that. I just got to trim like a ½ inch off these on both sides, and yeah, just trim that up. And then this is a bed floor I could pass through the inside without having to, because if I don't trim that, then there's going to be a big gap between the two sides. That's basically it. And we're making quite a bit of progress. Alright, quick little update to end the video. I had to slice from like here to over there to get the wheel clear on both sides. I got the steering wheel turning and I started hitting. So I zipped that out of there real quick. These are actually the pieces. You can see it just bulged out and then that's where it was hitting, so that's where it's gonna be. I also got the hood hinges unstuck. They're actually pretty nice, so I'll be able to use them. And this side's actually got a spring on it and it's still there. So I guess that's what kept the hood closed or open. Probably open. This side's missing, but at least I have a spring to go off of. I can probably try and find one that's the same and make something up for the other side eventually. And then I got an oil filter for this, so that's the end of the update for this so far.